Okay, let's talk about how to European horned animals.
Okay, first things first with all European skull mounts, make sure you skin it. For some reason, I have always ran a knife blade right off the top of the forehead and down past the nose. I don't know why I do it, but that's how I do it. And just cut. Let's get everything skinned off. There's no right way to do this because all that hide is being wasted. We don't have to worry about little nicks and cuts. If you've never skinned anything before, just remember, cut where the tissue gets tight next to the bone. If you hit something hard, turn the other direction and keep skinning. When you get near the tear duct in the eyeball, make sure you make a deep cut and get all that out of there. Anything you remove now is going to save energy when you put it into the pot. Just going to be less time to cook through meat and tissue and things like that. One quick note, this method is the boiling method, and if you shoot a large, once-in-a-lifetime trophy ram and you want to get it scored, I would recommend not using the boil method. The boil absolutely does create some shrink. Most taxidermists will use a rot-off method, and I would recommend that if you're looking to get your animal put into the record book. When you get around to that underside, I always take the tongue and everything with me, one big shot. Cut up one side of that jaw, down the other, and then pull that tongue out. It'll help get everything out of there. And as you cut, using that Armstrong method in addition to the knife, just bend and tweak, you'll pop that vertebrae in the back and you'll be free of all the neck. Then run your knife around one side of the jaw in and out, and then once again, Armstrong method, just pull that jaw right out of there. Now take a good look, clean up all the last little pieces, cut out the eyeballs, loose tissue anywhere, then slide that animal right in the pot. I typically don't have a pot big enough to accommodate all horned animals, so just do one side and then the other. I fill up my pot with clear water, no OxyClean, no chemical, because we're actually boiling around the horn. After boiling for about 10 minutes, it's ready to pull out. Sometimes they take a little whack to get it loosened up, and then you're just going to torque that horn in the direction that it would come off. Voila, comes right off. And then soak the other side so it's good and loosened up. Give it a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes at a full boil. Then give it a little whack. Easy peasy. From there, I take a knife and I score the membrane. That's the bone that comes off the top of the head, so that I have a good starting place to peel all that off. Anything that's tissue on a skull has got to come off. Now that we've got the horn removed, I'm going to put a little OxyClean in the pot to act as a degreaser against all the tissue that we're going to boil off the skull. Next step, just like all of them, pull it out, put your power washer in every little hole and orifice, and just spray her clean. Next step here, we're going to stick a screwdriver in and remove that ear butt or ear plug or whatever that's called. All horned and antlered animals, I do this too. There's meat and tissue and stuff that grows in and around that area, and I don't think you can get it clean unless you remove it. It's real simple. Screwdriver in the hole, pop it out, and then take that screwdriver and knock it free into the brain hole. Now you've got a clean opening to pull out all that stuff. Stick your power washer in there, blow it free. We are 2/3 there. Trying to show all the things I get questions for, but I just sweep up all the big pieces. The only thing that goes to drain is clear water, and then I freeze all those particles. So now that we've got that sheep clean, we're going to lay it in the bottom of the pot, and then we're going to put that 50-50 peroxide mix in there. 50% peroxide, 50% water, Now, I've used this batch a ton. So as I start to see those oils come out and when we start to boil, I take a sponge and I remove that oil. That's how I keep it clean. After I've boiled in the peroxide mixture for about 10 minutes, I'm going to pull it out, give it one last final spray. I'm going to make sure I got everything out of every little orifice, making sure that horn bone is completely clear, there's no membrane left on it, and then set it in the sun to dry. Don't cut yourself short on dry time. It's important that it gets completely dry before you go to the next step. As it's drying, I typically will wash pots, clean up, and this is just a look at bagging up all the waste that came off that one little sheep. Super small package, easy cleanup.
Okay, last step in our painted ram project. So you could see earlier that we skinned it, removed the sheath off the bone, got it good, got it clean and white with some peroxide, turned out beautiful. And then we're gonna bondo the horns back on. So you can run a kind of a dry fit to see how they'll go, and you'll figure out that you don't need very much bondo. This is super porous, and the key to this is make sure you've got everything really dry. That way the bondo will adhere. So I'm just gonna mix a little bondo and we'll put it together quick.
Here's the last step I do with most all animals. I give it a coat of Mop and Glow, and that Mop and Glow will just help that dust from settling into those real porous areas. And I wind up Mop and Glowing the horns on horned animals. I do not do the antlers on antlered animals. I got this thing just sitting on the skull max. It's a real nice way to pivot and swivel it around. But this is a very important step to making it a real nice finished product.
Same principles apply for all horned animals. Get those horns off, get them clean inside and out, bondo them back on, Mop and Glow, good to go. Thanks for watching.